Oh, hello, everyone. How are we doing? Yeah, sorry. Right, it is a glorious Thursday evening. It's been beautiful weather for a couple of days, and I'm with two beautiful men. Um, Mr. B, how are you? What's been going on?
I'm good, man. I'm good, man. I'm glad there's no Euro games. I don't think I've missed one. To be fair, I
You've
I
seen
I,
every game?
I think I've seen every single game. Yeah,
Wow.
my hours at work were pretty good. So I managed to watch. Yeah, I've managed to watch. Yeah, I've managed to watch every single game.
You enjoyed it?
I've enjoyed bits and pieces. I don't think the tournament's really started yet. I've enjoyed the shocks. I've enjoyed one or two individual players. I think my favourite player so far has been the Georgian, that Kitch.
Carrot Man.
Yeah, man. Oh, Jesus, man. I like him. Everything about him I like. The way he dribbles past players, the way he runs, his energy. I think he's fantastic. So he's actually been my player so far. So I'm glad Georgia are through. But yeah, I've just been watching the Man United news, hoping that we were going to sign somebody. It looks like we have, ish. So yeah, we'll discuss that. But yeah, I've been good, bath time, man. I've been good.
Nice. Omondi, we've only seen you intermittently during the Euros. What crazy adventures have you been on? What players do you like from the Euros? What's been going on?
Yeah, I must admit, we're peak summer now, and it's lovely. I think London in the summer is a fantastic, fantastic place to be. It's just wonderful. I was out yesterday. I went to the theatre. Started off in St James's Park. It's just a beautiful park right near Buckingham Palace. Sat in the shade for a long period of time, and then took a walk from there up that Buckingham Palace Road, ended up in near Trafalgar Square, went up to Piccadilly Circus, Leicester Square, Covent Garden, holding onto my bag, aware of pickpockets and things like that, But otherwise, yeah, it's really nice, hot, roasting day. And I love the summer. I love the summer in London. I think one of the best towns to be in the summer. But obviously with the football, yeah, I'm with Mr. B. I mean, I've had Georgia on my mind, Gladys Knight as well. No doubt about it. That guy from Napoli is really, he's a fantastic player. He's the sort of player that gets you off your feet, innit, Mr. B? And seeing him, perform and, do his thing. And what really I'm really impressed by with Georgia is the defensive structure. You talk about structures, and they really work for one another, and they know they've got respect. There's like a hierarchy there saying, right, I'm not the best player, but we've got a couple of players there who can really sort of make us shine. Let's put the work in and let them do the pretty stuff and finish things off. And that's how they work, and that's how they operate. But it's going to be hard for big teams to break them down, I believe. So they're just so compact. There's no space between the lines. But when they break, they really go for it, and it's fun to watch different styles, So I'm really enjoying the Euros. I can't wait for the knockout rounds now. And I will say this: a lot of people are slating Southgate, and it happens all the time. I remember Bobby Robson get slated in the Euros in '88 because they didn't make it, didn't even get out of their group. But the way things are looking with the side of the group they're on,
Crazy.
I wouldn't be surprised if England slowly get better and maybe get to the final and have to beat one big team. They've got Italy and Holland maybe in their side of the group as sort of big names, but apart from that, I think
Are Holland in this side of the group?
Yeah, they're just I've seen a draw, just
Okay.
above. Yeah, so maybe they catch them maybe in the quarters or semis or something. But it's an exciting time now, and I think a lot of people would have to sort of say, even though I'm not a Southgate fan, there's a lot of the narrative right now from most fans is Southgate, he's boring, he's not brave enough. But if he goes and wins it now, people will have to sort of take that big foot out of their mouth that they've been saying. So it'd be interesting to watch. And it's a long way to go. What's your thoughts, Miss Bath Time, about everything?
I'm interested what you say about Georgia, because Georgia were in the same qualifying group as Scotland and Spain for the qualifiers. They finished below Scotland, obviously, and they got down, I think, 7-1 by Spain in their first match. And I think it's amazing how they've sort of bounced back. For me, the team, I haven't actually watched them. I've just seen the highlights, but I really like Romania. I've always liked Romania. I like the yellow shirt. I like the sort of frantic attacking play they have. It brings to mind, Hagi, Petrescu, Ili, all those players. So I like them. I really like that Italian left-footed centre back, Calafiore.
Calafiore, yeah.
I really like him, but I feel the tournament hasn't really started yet. I think Scotland and England have been a real drag to watch, and it's kind of brought the tournament down for me a little bit. But I'm hoping that at the weekend, the games are going to get much more frantic, penalties, extra time. Like, I think it's going to be great, and I'm really excited. So hopefully the Euros will come along. Yes, Amanda.
Just one more thing to top my light last night. I have to tell you this because like sometimes there's always a time and place to say something or tell a joke or something like that. So I'm on a train. I've got the Elizabeth line on my way to London. I've got the District line. If anyone knows, that's really slow and long, and it's like, oh, it just takes so long. There's this new Elizabeth line after Queen Elizabeth, which just takes, for me, I live in West London. It takes 15 minutes just to get into Bond Street, Tottenham Court Road. When it used to take like 45 minutes on the Central Line or an hour at least, So this is a brilliant line, straight through, air conditioned, everything. So on the way back, this is like 11:30 at night last night from the theatre. I'm sitting there and me and my missus were like chatting on the way because we were traveling on the train there, traveling on the way back. And she was observing. She's a people watcher. She's from the country, and she was a people watcher. And she was watching people on the train, and everyone's like this on their phones. And I was saying, it's very different. Like years ago, it used to be everyone reading a paper. This is funny how things have changed. So on the way back, we're opposite me, because you can sit opposite someone on the train every day, make eye contact, but you don't say nothing to them. So there's a couple old woman and her husband sitting opposite us, and they're reading a paper, but she was deep into a crossword like that. And I thought, this is my time. This is my time. So as we were getting up, it's a packed train. As we get up at Ealing Broadway, I stood up in front of everyone and said, excuse me, ma'am, 7-Up is lemonade. And,
my God.
And that was all the everyone was like, everyone paused on it. Everyone was like, done Mr. B laughter. And everyone was like, oh my God, that was really good. And I thought, yeah, it's a way to them. Like you say, not many people you see doing crosswords anymore. I've been waiting for years to catch somebody. She said that was
really good. Really good. I tell you have told some shit jokes on this show, but you know what? That one tickled me, man. That one was good.
But you know what, Mr. B? Someone said to me today, there is no ups in crosswords. It's either down or across. So lucky.
Oh, shit. Fuck him. That was a good one.
Anyway,
that's a highlight of the Euros that you finally got to tell that joke.
True story. My missus was there as a witness. She was cracking up. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you've been out sort of like terrorizing people with your wordplay. But let's see who's in the comments. Kel Surprise, it's Stephanie Griffiths. Hello, Steph. We've got Solo in the house. How are you enjoying the Euros, Solo? Simon Warner, have not been on since before the Euros. Good to be back on. Good to have you on, Simon. This has been an extreme lack of goals for our team, and Kane has not been at his best. And it's more a kind of United night, isn't it, than talking about England? I'm sick to death of it.
We started with that. We'll end with United. It's fine. There's an order.
And then we've got Early Doors TV, who's been a standout guest, I feel, on the channel. He's here for every England game and presumably will be on Sunday with Anthony and you, Mr. B.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, so Steph is saying the Georgia team ethic, complete opposite to England. Everyone wants to hog the limelight, hence the poor performances. We have to beat Slovakia or become a laughing stock. Serbia in our group has been quite a surprise. He's not missing Southgate. And Bart is in the house. So there we go. Have we got anyone else here? Cryptid crosswords are the best of Monday. She laughed. You could have gone with Sprite. And Bart is suggesting Jose for the England role. I'd love it. I think it would be hilarious.
Jesus, can you imagine?
We've got 11 likes.
All those attacking players. Oh, Jose.
Oh, big up, Jose. Right, what's on the menu for tonight, Mr. B? What are we talking about?
Obviously, we know that Rude was has been semi-appointed. I'm loving that move. whether it's a PR stunt or not. I don't give a shit. I think that move is absolutely fantastic. And then today we find out that we're going to be getting a Rene Hake. I'm not sure how you say his name. I'll wait for somebody to say it. So I'll just say Rene Hake for the moment. We find out that he's coming in as another coach. I'm not sure you can have too much coaches. I think it filters down certain things. I think, you know, maybe the defensive side could be worked on by one. Somebody else can work. I'm going to assume who's going to be working with the bloody strikers instead of good old Benny McCarthy. I have nothing against Benny McCarthy, man, but the respect that those players are going to have for Ruud van Nistelrooy is just... So right now, I think they're moving in the right direction. I'm happy with what they're doing. Obviously, we haven't signed any players, but I'm happy.
All right, should we start with Rene Hake then and Ruud?
Yeah. Let's start with them.
All right, Omondi, you're on mute. But what can a good coach do for a player?
For a player, they're supposed to get the best out of the player, maximize a player's potential. That's what we want to see from a good coach, naturally, you know. I've just typed in his name. He's 51 years old. Sorry, 52 years old. He's manager of. He's managed FC Utrecht and been caretaker manager as well, and managed FC20. That's also, isn't FC20 the team that McLaren had? So there's obviously a connection there. They must all know each other, be part of a WhatsApp group or coaching union or whatever. And I don't know much about him, but he's not managed at the highest level. He's a coach of Go Ahead Eagles at the moment. And it'd be interesting to see, I think with the top class players that they have at Man United, it'd be interesting to see whether they respect him. That's the most important thing. And to get the best out of players, they need to respect this guy. So he can come in, and I think the first thing he needs to do is say, right, this is a big move for me. I'll be coaching Man United. I need to have an impact straight away. So the first day he comes in, he needs to make sure he has a good rapport with the players, to get the best out of them, and they need to respect him to sort of follow instruction, you know, because sometimes a coach can put you through some drills and you're like whispering at, you know, with your players, this guy, he's a mug, you know, that sort of thing. So you need to get respect out of him. I'm sure this, even at the highest level, these guys, if they don't rate you, if you haven't played for top clubs or something, they might think they know more than you. So it's up to him. First day of training, mate, you need to come in there at Man United and show the players that you've got something to offer. Make it fun, make it exciting, and we want to be seeing interviews a few months down the line saying, yeah, this guy puts on some wicked training sessions, you know, or we want to hear leaks that he puts on training sessions. Not the opposite, like we've been having lately, where it's been disappointment about training methods.
What are you thinking about it, Bath Time?
I'm deeply underwhelmed and disappointed.
I would never have guessed Bath Time.
I know. So you haven't looked at the group chat, have you? Where I've been kicking off for like the last hour about this.
Talk to us. What's going on?
Right. Okay. The first thing I'll start with, right, and this is like this is my sort of bias, but it's something that I sort of believe in football.
Sorry, oh, God, that's funny.
Sorry, Bath Time. Go on.
Yeah, let me know. Like, Monday's enjoying himself. That's what we're all here for. So I'm deeply unimpressed. I'll start off with the fact that I don't like the Dutchification of the coaching staff. I am a massive believer that you need fresh ideas and fresh takes in football. Like, most people who sort of talk about football and have played football and stuff. Yeah, nice one, Steph. I serious point. Everyone's just laughing at me. Dutch football has done nothing for 10 years, right? The national team didn't qualify for 2016. They didn't qualify for 2018. All the players they produced, no one's really gone on to do anything. And I think that Ten Hag still doesn't really understand our league. So instead of getting new ideas in and new ways of approaching a football match, we're getting more people, like we're building an echo chamber of Dutchmen. And I think that when you look at Ferguson, he got in Carlos Queiroz, he got in Rene Maleficent or
Molesting,
whatever.
yeah.
And they brought different approaches in. When we look at the history of the Premier League, no one has ever kind of incrementally got better. You've got people like Wenger who's come in with sort of professionalism and diet and eating. You've had Jose come in with his different training, and Pep and Klopp. And I look at this and it reminds me of the guys that I sometimes speak to about football in the pub 5 years ago. They've lived their entire football life within 30 miles. You know, like 90% of the games they've played have all been with a 30-mile radius. Like myself and OMONDI have sort of been around like different places and picked up different things on different continents. And I'm so disappointed in Manchester United that rather than expanding the ideas coming into the club, we're just closing it off and going for Dutch football, which hasn't produced a decent manager for a very long time. The best you're looking at is Giovanni van Bronckhorst. And they're not really producing anything like with their football or with their players. And I'm shocked that that is where our kind of knowledge database is being done. So I find that incredibly disappointing. And secondly, I've looked at what this guy has done in his career. He's won nothing, right? That is not going to go well with the players, if you remember what happened with Ragnick. And then I looked at
He's
like
a coach,
average.
though. He's not a manager.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like when you're playing centre backs ahead of the midfield, Mr. B, which is what we discovered he does, and he plays very narrow.
It was one game.
It was a game at home against Ajax, and I looked up what he did against Ajax and PSV in the big clubs, and I couldn't believe what he's doing.
Yeah, but it was a game that they lost. Couldn't you have looked at it against? You know, yeah, I do understand that thing that you showed me did look very, very painful. But there's
Get Maguire in the half space.
there's no way they're going to be playing like that. Half time. Where's this negative? Come on, man. Come on.
Negative. Right. What do you think INEOS are doing here?
Well, I don't think they're Dutchification in the place. I think they're getting in players that Ten Hag wants and players that Ten Hag needs to help him. Yeah, Dutch coaches. I think he's getting the people in around him that he wants to give him the support. I just don't think he had anything. I think he did everything himself. And
he had his own coaches. He had Van der Kleeg. He brought in.
What's going to happen? I mean, even that. What's going to happen with the two guys that are in? Because obviously Benny McCarthy's contract was up anyway. He'd be gone at the end of the week. Yeah. Those other two are probably going to be gone. And what's happening with McLaren? You reckon McLaren's going to go?
Sorry, I was on the road today. Say it.
I see we're having a nice serious show.
Sorry.
All right, let's go through these comments.
Yeah.
All right. We got Bar. If you wanted Dutch guys, then Pep Linders would have been a better choice, although he likes his Thursday nights free. I don't know who Pep Linders is.
Liverpool.
Is he a Liverpool coach?
Yeah.
Right, I see, because that's about the Conference League or something. We need fresh players. Put yourself in Ten Hag's position. What players would you sign from the Euros if they want to leave their clubs? I don't know. Like, there's not been any outstanding players that I've seen from the Euros that I think that when you look at, was it Proborski we signed off the Euros?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a lovely sort of like a flippy goal he scored. Does it have to be Dutchification? I think it does. None of them have worked outside of Holland as football managers or coaches. Like, it's only Ten Hag who was at Bayern Munich, like reserves or the youth team or something. And look who it is. All the way from Dutch Pennsylvania, it's DK Wilson.
Big up.
Hello, DK Wilson. I'm just sounding off about Dutch people tonight. I'm not happy. Surely we don't want to go Dutch again. Okay, Emma Kay, she's a very sensible girl. It could be they have different ideas, and that's why they've been approached. And they've said yes because they want to expand themselves and their careers. Yeah, but I mean, they all worked in Holland, like the land of Anthony. We've got footballing people making football decisions in infrastructure and yet still moaning bath time. Yes. Come on, get a grip. As fans, that's what we've been asking about for years.
Hallelujah. Thank you, Matty.
Look, I am deeply underwhelmed by this, Matty, because I don't think that we've got anywhere near the best in class in, and I think we're building a succession problem for ourselves. We've signed two. We're getting in Rene, Hake and Rude, who were both managers like a week ago. I don't understand what we're doing. It's like, here we go. Let's try this one on. OMONDI, do you know about the War of the Roses?
Yeah, Lancashire and Yorkshire, is it?
Yeah. So it was about having a very weak king. Sorry?
I said, I'm glad you asked them one day that question.
Yeah, but I mean, the War of Roses, Lancashire, Yorkshire, Leeds United. But the thing is what that was about was that there was a very weak king and there were very strong nobles, and it led to 50 years of sort of infighting. And I'm very I don't understand why we're getting in so many people that could easily replace Ten Hag as well. No one would want Fletcher or McLaren coming in, but I bet you the calls for Van Nistelrooy, I can hear Andy Tate already saying give it to Rude to the end of the season. I'm very confused about that as well.
Do you remember with Liverpool, I think it was Roy Evans and Gerald Houllier.
The joint managers or something?
Yeah, joint managers. That didn't work out because Roy Evans ended up getting edged out. I don't see the same scenario in this case. What I do see happening in it, first of all, we've made a big decision. The manager's staying. So conversation's going to be had. I'm sure there's been conversations had about, right, what do you want to do? What do you need? And he said, one phone call, let me bring this guy, Mr. Hake from Go Ahead Eagles, and I want him in my coaching staff. Don't forget, we had Kieran McKenna in our coaching staff. We had Michael Carrick in our coaching staff recently. These are guys who have gone on to become decent careers so far, Middlesbrough and Ipswich, who've just been promoted to the Premier League. They could have still been hanging around. So they've gone on to try their luck at management. These guys are coming from management to Manchester United, which I think is a step up for them, and they would get a name for themselves.
Do you?
Yeah, I think it's a step up. Go Ahead Eagles to becoming the coach of Man United. I think being a coach of Man United is a better opportunity to get out there, get your name around, and then maybe these guys can put the work in and increase their profile and maybe go on to get a manager's role somewhere else, But it's about, I think the discussion's been made. These are the best guys, as they say, best in class. They want the best in class. And we don't know. You don't have to be generally successful, especially at Go Ahead Eagles. You're not going to win much there. But obviously, he must have something about him. And I want everyone in the comments and us on the Man United agenda, we've got to do ourselves justice and actually come up with a better discussion rather than saying he ain't won anything. Let's see what he's really got. Surely he must have something about him. Surely there must be a direction for INEOS to tick this off and say, yeah, we'll go with this. There must be a direction or something that we're going into going forward, which he can, tick the boxes for us and help us develop our game. And so I'm quite interested to see what happens. Considering I know nothing about him, I want to be kind of positive about this guy coming in. And
I've done some research on him Monday.
What do you know about?
Right, I know that he is incredibly narrow in how he sets up a football team. It is incredibly compact and narrow, but it also has a very low statistic called pressures per defensive action, which means that it's essentially a block that just stays in shape and doesn't come out. They have conceded the fourth highest amount of shots on target in the Eredivisie, but they also have half of those shots were blocked, which would suggest that the block is pretty good. Based on the possession maps that I've seen from Go Ahead Eagles, the centre of the pitch is absolutely packed. There's minimal width in his team, and they have the fifth lowest amount of goals conceded, which was 29 last season.
That's a good stat. Stat.
I would suspect that he is coming in to help the team, shape and the team's defence. And Rude, I would suggest, is coming in to sort of help the attacking structures. And also, I think, once again, I have this theory that most things are about Rashford at the football club and trying to get the best out of him. I think it's another kind of signing to try and get Rashford to harness all those gifts that he has and pull out another 30, 35 goal season.
Interesting, very interesting. That I like that's quite positive what you said about the Go Ahead Eagles guy. It's an area that we need to improve. I think Jason Wilcox is clearly having some sort of conversation about the direction we go in, and to shore up those issues that we had last season about being wide open and having so many shots against us. Maybe this will be the right person to tick that box there to stop those things from happening. So the Rude thing I like as well. Not only will we've seen him do pretty well with Feyenoord, but I also think he can bring the respect that he wants. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Rude walks in to the coaching staff, the players will be like, "Oh my God, that's Ruud van Nistelrooy." You know, there's a difference, and that. Well, as I was saying earlier about being a coach and being inexperienced and trying your best, being under pressure to get these players on the side, Ruud can just walk in, chest held high, head up, and say, "I'm Ruud van Nistelrooy. Go and Google me," or something like that. You know what I mean? Or go Google my goals and come back and catch me tomorrow, because he's the man. I heard a story once. I think it's one of the players when Ruud came into the club. He said, "I was watching." Maybe it's Gary Neville. He said, "I was watching Ruud van Nistelrooy training." And I thought, maybe it's Roy Keane, and his finishing, you could just hear the boom, boom, like the coldness of the shooting, in the shooting drills. And he's like, this is proper. This is a proper player. We haven't had that for a long time. So it'd be great to have Ruud in, even just, he might not be the best coach, I don't know, but I think he will raise people's levels because people want to impress him.
He must be half decent. I understand. I know the Dutch league ain't is a stepping stone, but. They won. Was it last season? They won the cup. They won one of the cups.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it the season before? So he has something about him. Whether or not it's a step up too much for him, I don't know. But oh man, I'm so excited, Bath Time. I know you're not Bath Time. I know.
I'm excited for Ruud. Like,
so I know we were talking about the hack, but. I said, I just assumed that you were peed off with both appointments.
Well, I think as I say, I think you need diversity in like the culture and the thought that's in the club. My only concern with Ruud, and it's just a very minor one, is that he was a difficult character 20 years ago. Like the stuff that went on with Ronaldo, the fallout with Fergie and stuff like that. You just assume that he's sort of matured and understands how to work with people.
Half time, look, 20 years ago, I bet you were a lot, your head was a lot hotter than it was now. You know what I mean? You calm down, man. You might not regret things at the time, but as you really, maybe you could have done things that way. And, the fact that he was abrasive as well, I think is probably going to help because he'll be able to, he knows that level. He hasn't always been, squeaky clean and, yes, dad, no, dad, yes, sir, no, sir. He's been a little bit of a shit. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm glad. I said, look, I don't know anything about Rene Hake, so maybe he has been brought in to be defensively astute. And as you said, to get Maguire playing in the half space, maybe it was, maybe it was somebody else. But look, football's about evolving. You know what I mean? I said he had so much. Tanaka had so much shit on his plate last season. Now he can delegate. He can just get on with doing whatever he does best.
Well, and I have seen like Ruud did a coach's voice where he talked about like his football philosophy and things like that, and it was these things are always impressive when you see like the top guys talking about how they want to play football, and I'm sure that he's performed at an incredible level, as a professional footballer, and he's done pretty well like as a coach and the manager in the leagues that he's been in. I still think he's too strong a candidate to take over. I mean, maybe Omondi, the Liverpool boot room. I've heard about this. Is this a similar thing where they had lots of incredibly sort of like knowledgeable and powerful coaches all working together? Do you think this is what we're trying to do?
Well, it's a successful thing from the past, isn't it, with Liverpool? That was renowned for that. You had Ronnie Moran, Roy Evans, Shankly, Bob Paisley, they're all involved in this boot room, which basically means like a little boot room they go into, discuss tactics, talk about the team. And these are all Liverpool men. They were all Liverpool men, and they were very successful for their best time in their era, their history. The boot room was key to their moving forward. So Shankly set them all up. He passed on the baton to Bob Paisley. Bob Paisley just had to sit there and let things happen, and he became one of the most successful managers of all time because of the setup. So everyone was in tune with what was the philosophy. What will happen now, if we come away from the boot room at Man United, we just get a new manager in, clear out all the staff, bring in a new guy, change philosophy, and you have to start all over again. But when you're doing it this way, as this so-called boot room that we're doing for Man United right now, because you compared it to them, it's easy transition, as you would say. And so if Ten Hag retires, someone in the boot room involved will come in and take over, like from Shankly to Paisley, and continue it without any too much disruption, you know. So that's the whole theory behind it, and I think it's good. I think because we need that stability at Man United right now. So I like the idea of that, and I think even if it's Dutch guys or whatever, having them all around say and, chatting or whatever about football. Dutch love to talk football. It's a philosophy for them. So discussing it, having arguments and bumping heads or whatever they do in that little boot room. You know, I don't know where it would be because it's complaints about our training ground and all that. You know, but they can use my garage or my living room if they want. You know, that's all we need. But I do really think it's the way to go forward, and I do like the idea of this. And I do think everyone who's coming in has to be on board with that and with the whole philosophy. This is why we got a technical director to come in. This is the philosophy. It has to be, everyone has to be on the same page from the under 8s all the way to the senior team at every level. So it's a natural progression that people will come in and say, right, we need a under 16 coach. I can do that. The under 8 coach can do that because he knows exactly what we require, and there won't be too much shift or change.
So they're kind of yes men, is what you're saying, that they've been told that there's...
No, don't say like that, Bathtime, about the yes men. They're yes
men. Right, well, they're working towards an idea they've been told.
Yes. That's what you have to be on board with. The philosophy of the club. You know, that's what you have to agree with. It's not like, you know, not having any say. Obviously, you can tweak things or whatever, but the whole philosophy about how we play our football, the basis of that is part of going forward, is how we want our club to be set up going forward. So at all levels, look at this. We didn't have a presentation this year because we thought we were going to get worked by Man City, didn't we? But the ladies won, the under 18s won, and if we won the FA Cup, so that would have been great as a presentation. Say INEOS, new era, and look, our presentation. Trophy at 3 different levels, women's, youths, and at the senior level. This is really positive going forward.
And our food hygiene rating is back to 4 stars. Should we do some comments? Or, Mr. B, is there anything you'd like to say on...
No. I'm good. I'm just listening.
Yeah, because I completely forgot about the comments. We've got Emma saying it could be they have different ideas and that's why they've been approached. Oh, that was the last comment. Right, this is the one I wanted. They would go from head coach to staff. Surely there's more to it than just those two. Assume the management is going to be more of a collaboration and only one taking the blame when it goes wrong. So Ten Hag is going to be a sort of a lightning rod, as it were, for criticism, but they're all going to be working as a sort of a more balanced unit. Is that what you get from that? Okay. Yeah. And Simon is hoping that Ten Hag doesn't focus on just one specific player in the window and end up panic buying.
No, we're not. We're not.
Speaking of panic buying, United are not signing Amrabat. He's heading back to Fiorentina. I wish him the best. He did all right, but he's not Premier League quality for me. Are you sad to see him go, lads?
It depends what comes in.
Yeah, I'm sad about the Shetland pony thing because that could have continued. It was created here by this guy right here, Bath Time, and that was flipping funny. And every time I see him, it will always be that Shetland pony to me. So Bath Time, I'm sad for that reason.
Yeah, I think like look, he played well in the FA Cup final. I think he's done well. It was a ridiculous signing, 10 million on loan, and look, I hope he does well. Turf Moor, does that mean Rude is still on for the Burnley job? Wouldn't have thought so. But we always lose our first 2 games, so we'll see after that. It's Mr. POTUS. Big up to the panel. How are you all? I'm very interested to see what happens. I think bringing Rude into our club was a huge positive. How is Rude's appointment any different than when City hired Arteta? I'm not sure Arteta had managed at that point. Agile B said he floated Van Nistelrooy at one of these streams a couple of months back. So he's obviously a man that's in the know. And Rude will be Rasmus's mentor and Rashford's miracle worker. And I think the other guy that isn't being mentioned as well is that maybe Anthony can get a new lease of life with more Dutchmen around him.
Are you serious? Bath time, Anthony.
Maybe. I mean,
not a hope in hell, bro.
Well, what about Donny then?
Donny Van can fuck off. No way.
He's the only Dutchman that United don't want.
No chance. They've just these are players that have shown that they've got nothing. Just don't even contemplate. If it's a free and they have to leave and get them out on a free, just let them go. INEOS are doing all the right things ish at the moment. Don't let it be holding on to the players who we know are dead.
All right. What about Mount? Mount was at 20, wasn't he? With Rene Hake, I presume.
Oh.
So that might be nice. That might be nice for him. And it's quite odd trying to work out when Mason Mount
we've got Mount.
Fit.
I keep forgetting we've got Mount at our club.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting what we do with Mount now that Kobe is really sort of establishing himself as a real force in football.
In world football.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't see Bruno, Mount, Zerke, and Kobe all working together. Like I'm a little bit concerned about Mason Mount. Anyway, Rude do wonders with Højlund, Rashford, Garnacho, plus on having Rude in the locker room, what Omondi said. So DK Wilson's pretty up for that. I want our league goals tally score to be at least 70 this season. Last season was terrible. So you're looking for like what is that? That's about 2 a game?
Yeah.
All right. And Andrew, Mr. Fun is in the house. Let's be honest, instead of deluding ourselves as per usual. We've got no idea how good he is as a coach. They will probably be irrelevant in the big picture of things.
Andrew, please tell me you're not talking about Rude. Tell me you're talking about Rene Hake, who we all understand needs to impress us. But I know you're not talking about Rude.
Maybe Ollie has put him off. Like, a player of a similar sort of like legendary status at United. Evening, Rude walks onto the training pitch, all eyes on him. You've got to think that Rasmus and Rashford are tremendously excited about like getting on the pitch with Rude. Like all those little things he can teach you and stuff. It must be. I imagine that they're dead excited for it. Dutch league may not be the best, but they have produced better managers than England in this century. I don't know. I think Will Smith or whatever he's called, Will Steele, is better than. Well, I think Kieran McKenna is probably better. I think Carrick is better. I mean, Ronald de Boer won 4 or 5 titles at Ajax in a row, and is the worst manager the Premier League's ever had.
Yeah,
after Ragnick.
After who?
Ragnick. Yeah. Jesus. Martin Jol, another absolute outstanding Premier League manager from Holland. United have a mentality issue. Maybe Ruud can help address that too. That's a good point, Omondi, do you think? Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Sorry, I was rhyming like Milli Vanilli. But I totally agree. I think Rude coming in will, like we said, that impact you have on the players. He's not that old where he would, where he's a forgotten player of the past. He's massive. When you talk about legends of the Premiership, he is the man, one of the best strikers we've ever seen in the Premier League. So he will have a positive effect on the mentality of thing, because he was one of these focused goal scorers, a winner. I don't care. That's why he wasn't afraid to argue with Ronaldo and all these kind of things. He was about goals, and to have that mindset, winning, and that mentality to come back from an injury like he did and get back and become one of the greatest players. That's the mindset we need. And I think there's a few comments in the comments about interviews with him. The one with Gary Neville in particular, where they're walking and talking. That really came over to me that he is a positive mental mindset guy. So big up to that.
Well, we got Tyrone Williams. He's late. It won't happen again. Either it doesn't. Stephanie, the boot room was a fishy think tank. Difficult sentence to say. Right. INEOS and their management of the women's team is concerned, and Garcia, Zellum and Earps all set to leave. I've got to be honest, I don't really understand what's going on with the female team, but I understand people are extremely annoyed with Mark Skinner, the manager.
PSG, isn't she?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, probably better than Donnarumma. He's just a big lump, isn't it? Right. Dark Crow, who I haven't seen very often, but Dubai airport authorities give better services to passengers who use their own airline, the Emirates, compared to those using other airlines. Thanks very much, Dark Crow. That's a great comment.
Airline bars.
Yeah, why is that highlighted? Manchester United should be prioritising someone. Amrabat had to go, not good enough.
That's the guy who scored. We had him in our list of midfielders. And he was a long way behind Fofana, boy. Nah, he's cost too much money, man. They're looking at 65 million.
Oh wow!
For him, isn't they? Yeah, that's
Did
a
you
lot
see
of money.
Neves last night?
Oh, did he play?
Yeah.
Who?
João Neves.
105 million from Benfica.
Looked like a 30
Oh,
million.
the little dude.
player
Okay, no, I didn't see him play. No. Okay. How do you look?
Not great. Like there were two centre backs we're linked to as well, like Andre Silva and Ignacio or something.
Yeah, that's right.
Andre Silva was the one who made a mistake, wasn't he?
Well, yeah, he gave away a penalty and like passed it to the carrot boy to score. Like, so I mean, don't take it off one game, but remember Lindelof came from Portugal with the reputation as the best defender there. So I don't know. All right. Andrew, a shiny positive. We're so easily pleased with shiny little badges. Don't know, that sounds like an REM lyric. I'm surprised Omondi hasn't jumped on that. We don't need miracles. We need P45s. Okay. Rude was arguably one of the best in his position. Arteta was average, only got signed at Arsenal because they couldn't attract world-class players. Arteta was a good footballer. Like, make no doubt about it. He was, I think, at 19 years old, he was like dominating Old Firm derbies. Like he was a very good footballer. While I'm positive about Rude coming in, it feels slightly that INEOS are distracting us from the lack of signings coming in. I want new players.
Patience. When you know what, it's certain things. The Tadibo one is the one that's bugged me the most because it looks like they were really far down the line with that one. So I don't see, they seem to be moving parallel and with a lot of deals. So I'm hoping that they've maybe got 4, in each position on the go. And then when one drops out, they kind of move on to something else. The Bramthwaite's gone quiet, so I'm hoping that they're moving in. This is me being positive in it. Come whenever deadline day comes and I'm fuming with my yellow tie, then, maybe it'll be something slightly different. But I just feel that it's they're working on things silently. I mean, even the UGARTE bid, nobody had and nobody knew, but nobody knew. It was something that came out like Liverpool were doing. Now it's out there. Obviously, it's common knowledge, but you know, we could have had a bid accepted for a player that nobody knew that we bid about.
Yeah.
You know, so I think they are moving slightly differently.
I think the player that I think they're probably laying the groundwork for stuff, but it's like it's not July yet. There's all this like sort of legal like bureaucracy and red tape and things around financial fair play and sustainability rules. I suspect that when the Euros finishes, we'll see things ramp up really quickly. As you say, we've been linked to UGARTE today. Not hugely impressed with him as a player.
Surprise, surprise, bath time.
Well, he's what I do like is he's extremely defensive, but he's not very good at heading the ball. And I like that with the signing of Rene, Hake, with concentrating on Todibo and Braithwaite and things like that, that United have realised that the defensive stuff has to be addressed first.
Yeah.
Like, so I think that's all quite promising. And look, we got a new fella in the house, Abebe Delicio, perfectly pronounced, I'm sure you'll agree. He wants Zerki, Rabiot, Calafiore, Frimpong to United.
I'll take Frimpong and Calafiore and Zerki. Rabiot, the fact that he's first choice for France, I accept. The fact that he seemed to have stepped up for Juve is, but I don't know. I don't know what he does.
Right. Well, he's a box-to-box player. He's left-footed, which is something that is really important to our midfield. We haven't had a left footer since Fred went. My concerns with Rabiot, I think he's a
Fred's left. He never had a left foot.
Fred was left-footed though, and you
oh, he kicked with his left foot. Yeah, go on. Sorry, go on.
All right, but the problems with Rabiot is nothing to do with his football ability. He's brilliant at recovering space. He's a physical unit. Like, he's got the pedigree. He's got the quality. The two problems that I have with him is, one is his mentality. He's caused problems at PSG. His mother appears to be like out of control. Yeah. But the other thing is he's got all the hallmarks of a Eriksen Casemiro signing, where if we get him, we're stuck with him. And that's my problem with
Remember
him.
the 5 criteria we had. One of them was like, we don't sign players over 25. So that will be going against the grain, I think, because we're going to see in the next few weeks the signings we do get. And we got the Zakiri.
I think if somebody came up that was 27 that ticked all the all the boxes, that they would sign them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I think that's more a guideline as opposed to a rule. Like, if a top player came on the market who's, if the equivalent of Varane or Ramos or someone like that, Sergio Ramos, came on the market at 27, like maybe Marquinhos at PSG or something, like an outstanding player, I think we'd still go for them. I think that what we're trying to avoid is the Eriksens and the Casemiros again. I don't think Rabiot is a good fit for Manchester United. No thanks.
I think people are a bit disappointed because a few seasons ago he kind of not really rejected us, but we were kind of interested, weren't we? We would discuss it on the show, and then he ended up signing for Juve still. So that's I think still leaves a bad taste in fans' mouth, as Damn United is saying here.
Yeah, we had that with Dybala as well, I think, like a few times. I just like I would like to see us look for a left footer in the midfield. I think it would be nice to have someone like that in. But with the players we're being linked with, like, have you seen much of Xerxes Amondo?
No, obviously I heard he came on for the Dutch the other day, but I haven't seen. The only thing I've seen, I went and checked him out. It's only watching YouTube, and you only seen sort of little 10-minute videos, and it's hard to gauge. So I'm not qualified to talk on him, but I do like the signing. I do like the idea that he ticks some boxes, and there's maybe a bit of room for growth, and his size as well. He seems like he's a big strapping lad as well. So yeah, I'm quite interested in that. That'd be an interesting signing. But like I say, I think like you're saying with Rabiot and all these other guys that we've kind of linked with, I just think we're not going to get everyone in. And there might be a few surprises, like Mr. B was saying earlier about the guy from UGARTE, is it from PSG?
Mm-hmm.
played in Portugal previously. That's just come out of the blue, and I'm thinking, okay, didn't expect that. He's right age as well. He's someone he's got something to prove. Maybe he would be a good signing for us. So yeah, it's interesting to see, and I can't wait. Trust me, with Euros coming up as well, and the transfer news, and we've got the tour, the preseason tour as well.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons as well. There's so much to look forward to on the agenda coming up, no doubt about it, man. And you guys in the comments, keep us on our toes because there's a lot coming up and we want to know. So anyone, please give us a scout report on any of these guys we got coming up. It will help us out, really.
And we've got Retro77, who I'm not sure if you're new or not, but it's always a delight to have you here. Hello. One day soon, someone will say Mason Mount will be like a new signing. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, we've got to give Mason Mount a chance. It's just that we appear to be at the start of another rebuild, and I'm a bit worried about where Mason Mount fits into this team, because I think that players like Anthony have had their chance and Mount hasn't. So I'd like to see him get a fair crack of the whip, like a couple of games in a row. Tyrone, my man. I'd take John McGinn over Rabiot. I'd absolutely love John McGinn to come to United. As well, isn't he? Yeah, left-footed, big ass. That's exactly what I'm looking for. And we got, look, Big G's come back into the house. All right, United need a left back. I'm happy with the low right back. Luke Shaw needs to be eased out. I'm not that happy with Delow's performances in the Euros so far. Is that a concern?
I'll be honest. I actually don't care. I don't care if he stinks out the Euros, as long as he don't play like that for us when he comes back. I have no problem. I mean, they played him in a 3-5-2 in the first game, didn't they?
Yeah. I hate that formation so much.
I detest it.
I had someone telling me Roberto Martinez is a good manager. I said, why would you say that? He said, oh, because I've heard him talk. He knows his stuff. I'm thinking, well, he always plays that. Wigan, he did it, this back 3 or back 5. And the thing, I don't think he's a good manager. He doesn't inspire me either. So I'm worried about Portugal going forward. I will say this. That would be part-time heaven.
Do you know who I want us to get that everyone's going to hate me for? I really, really like Conor Gallagher. From what I've seen, he's exactly my type of player.
What are you talking about, Bartime? Do you know what? Anyway, I'm glad we're ending this stream in a minute because you just get me mad, bro. Conor Gallagher.
Yeah.
I like him. You said that to wind me up. On 53 minutes, you said that to wind me up, innit?
No, I sent you the comparison between Conor Gallagher and Ugarte.
I saw what you sent me, and I'll tell you what, I don't give a shit. I don't care. Him and McTominay at the same club.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I ain't got no hair. I would be pulling this out every
Which
week.
one would you prefer?
None of them, bath time.
No, you've got to pick one.
None. I don't got to do nothing. I'm not
Yes,
picking any of them. No, I'm not picking any of them. I'd have to find a swear name for Gallagher. There's no chance. You are out of your mind.
Not for me. No for me either.
I really like how he recovers space. I really like how he gets headers. I like how he gets up and down to support. You need these players to get the best out of people like Kobe and Bruno and stuff like that. Like every team needs everyone needs a water carrier in their team. And I think that Gallagher's a very effective water carrier.
He would be spilling that water around the place, bro.
There's a hole in his bucket.
Yeah. You're bigger than De Liza's one. You're bigger. What's that? Who's Stretford Gamer? Big up, brother. I haven't seen you before. Shouting out all the way from South Africa. Big up, bro.
Welcome, man. Welcome.
Yeah, we don't normally have fights over Conor Gallagher, but we do have a lot of fights over McTominay. So enjoy that. Look at this. People need to realise that knowledge does not equal wisdom. Darius is a moron.
Well, Darius, you come through a few times with your predictions about players and the styles and things in the past. You've been quite prophetic. Not pathetic, prophetic in the past. So I would still say I listen to every word keenly, but with this one with Gallagher, I don't want him out of the club. I don't rate him. I just think he's a runner, and he doesn't provide anything more than that. Sometimes you need that, but we've got McTominay there. I don't think we need that sort of.
Yeah, I'd agree. McTominay is probably better because McTominay can score goals. Like Gallagher can get the goals, but in a central midfielder, you want someone who can head the ball, someone who can recover, someone who can run, and someone who can duel.
That's 4 players with each one attribute.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Is that like you need those kind of players in the center of the pitch, like, and with United against like teams like Newcastle last year, we got completely out-battled because our physical floor is too low, and players like Gallagher and McTominay mean that we have a platform to sort of build football instead of getting bullied, and you need those kind of players in the squad for me. So I wouldn't say that I'd get Gallagher straight into the first team, but I think that he's probably a better person to bring on than an Eriksen for a lot of games because of the energy and the dueling capabilities, and it allows you to play further up the pitch.
So,
sorry,
there's a lot of players better than Gallagher. Yeah, he probably will do a better job than Eriksen, but let's be honest, Eriksen's legs are gone. So
he's done all right in the Euros, hasn't he?
No, he's done really well in the Euros, to be fair. He's been rested all season. He's full of energy.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we've come.
What we've got tomorrow, and so it's Thursday today, isn't it? When did the Euros start again? Is it Saturday?
Saturday.
Saturday.
Okay. So tomorrow, I'm interested to talk more about Man United. I love talking about Man United today. It's been a long time since we've really gone in on them. It's good to see. I think overall it's kind of positive. We talk about Ruud van Nistelrooy and Rene as well coming true. I didn't know much about the news, but after the show today, I'm thinking, okay, I'm quite positive about them. And obviously, England playing Sunday, that'll be a big game. I'm looking forward to that as well. Guys, make sure you tune in to the Man United Agenda. We'll be doing post-match shows from the Euros over the weekend.
Yeah, we've got Dora and Stefan on for Saturday, and then Sunday is England with Mr. B and early doors and Anthony Herbert.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that could be an extraordinary one.
What Anthony?
Yeah, man, he goes mental. It's brilliant. All right, should we end it there then, gents?
Yes. Let's say our byes, our goodbyes. I can stuff my stomach.
Yeah, you hungry?
Yeah, always, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us on the Man United Agenda. Please leave a like, and we'll see you tomorrow. All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night. God bless.
All right, that's really annoying. We've just had a super chat as we're trying to end the show.
Yeah, but
Stretford Gamer, thank you so much for the super chat. It's really generous, and we're just happy to have you here. Having said that, goodbye.